Hi, thanks for watching. Today we're going to be making a batch of cards using stencils from the Ton stamps. If you are looking for a way to do a batch process, the Ton offers these awesome layering stencils that are called Holiday Bells, and you get 5 9 by 12 inch stencils. So these are nice high quality stencils, and then when you're done you actually get 4 card panels. So this is what it looks like with the 4 separate card panels. So isn't that exciting to be able to make so many panels at one time? I'm excited, and I know Nancy has demonstrated this on her channel, and I'm excited that I get a chance to demonstrate it as well. So let's go ahead and get started. So these are numbered. I know you probably can't see the number, but it is laser etched on there. And we want to tape down, and I can also use my glass mat board that is underneath this. It's magnetic. I can also use magnets. Alright, so I'm just getting an idea of where I want to center everything. Yep, that's what I'm trying to do here. And it looks like, oh, there's even little guides down in the corners so you can line up your paper exactly correct. Oh, that's amazing. That is really helpful. That way you're not guessing. Where do I line my paper up? There's actually little etched marks in the corners where you will line your paper up each time, and that way you're getting that exact precision result. Alright, so I would say take your time when you go to tape down and make sure that you're in those little etch marks. So I might have to turn it over here just to make sure that I'm getting this right. Yeah, I'm just going to start by going like this and just putting my tape down just like this as I line it up corner to corner. Okay, and the etch marks are very easy to see. They just look like little frames on the edge at each corner. Okay, you can't get it any easier than that, folks. By the way, before I forget, I want to mention that I will have a list of the products that I use in my description box below, and you can use my affiliate links for some of the products. If you do, it helps my channel, but I am not receiving any affiliate commission to use the products from the Ton. They graciously sent me the products, and they included this large stencil set as well as the die, which cuts it out, which I think I would highly recommend you get. You'll see at the end how that all comes together. But thank you to the Ton for doing that. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to create some Christmas cards, and this year I was a little behind on my Christmas cards. I did get them out, although there was one group of people that I forgot, so I think I'm just going to send them some Happy New Year cards instead. I don't know how I forgot that group of people, but I did. So I'll be making cards for them. But what I was going to say is I enjoyed this product because at the end I had 4 beautiful card panels, just stunning, and they're so unique and very classy as well. That's one thing about the products from the Ton. Here you'll receive this guide that shows you the colors that you can use and suggest different colors. So it says 3 tones of yellow, 2 tones of green, 3 tones of red. It explains on the instructions. And what I'm going to be using is Tiara and Martini to start things off. Those are the first 2 colors that I'll be using on this stencil layer 1. And I noticed that there's some marks on this guide that show me to me, I interpret it as that's where you want to be mindful of where the two colors might meet together. So what I'm going to do is use Post-it notes. And then when I looked at the actual stencil, those are actually etched right there on the stencil. Oh, that is wonderful. So that gives me a guide as to where to lay my Post-it notes. That's very helpful. So I'm glad that they did that. It's just a guide to give you some ideas of, again, I think where the two colors kind of meet, and you want to make sure that you're getting the yellow where the yellow is supposed to go and the green where the green's supposed to go. And so those little faint lines, they're etched right onto the stencil. Bravo to the ton for doing that. That really helped me. So what I did was I just took my Post-it notes and I created a mask. And this way, when I am ink blending with this yellow Tiara ink, I won't get any yellow where the green goes. All right. I would say this year I sent out at least 120 Christmas cards, if not more. And I have to do like 10 more. Yeah, make that 11. I thought of somebody else I saw today when I was out doing some last minute shopping. So I'll be working on the stencil, but also interjecting some life updates for you in this video. In case you didn't know, on December 5th, I had total knee replacement. Today is December 21st. So it'll soon be, well, it's been 2.5 weeks and everything is going very well. I'm going to be starting physical therapy at the outpatient office on Friday, 2 days from now. I've been doing physical therapy at home and everything has been going well. And today my mom was kind enough to be my chauffeur and my shopping helper and take me to some places here in town where I live to get some last minute holiday gifts, stocking stuffers, whatnot, because I really hadn't had a chance to do all that before my surgery. But the surgery went really well, and I'm feeling very strong. I walked all throughout Walmart today with my walker, and then we went to Aldi, and I walked there without my walker. I used my cane. So yeah, and then I went and got my nails done. But in this video you're watching, this was recorded last week. But a lot happened, and it got me off track so that I wasn't able to complete it until this week. So I'll tell you a little bit about that. We lost our beloved pet of 13 years. She passed away on the 17th of December. Again, today's the 21st, so it's only been a few days. But our dog Carly, who was like a member of the family for us, did pass away on Saturday. And so I have been challenged to just get out of bed and get through the fog of depression, because losing her again was just like losing a member of the family. And I know a lot of you have recently lost your pets, and I think around the holidays it's even harder, because I know our dog was really special to us around the holiday. We always enjoyed Christmas morning with her with us, watching us opening up our presents, waiting for her little treat, her new toy. That was always something really special. So thanks everybody for your well wishes and your condolences. I certainly appreciate it. We had her since my son was 4 years old. So she has grown up with him, and she really became his, and he really was her caretaker in the end. But we were all home together on Saturday. We got to spend the day with her until it got to the point where we had to take her to the emergency vet. So getting back to this video, my yellow ink pad probably needs re-inked. Usually Catherine Polar inks are nice and juicy, but I wasn't too concerned because this is my first layer of yellow. I'm going to be coming in with some other colors of ink, so I didn't bother to refill it. Okay, and so this is all the yellow that's needed on this particular layer. And now we're going to move to green, which is Martini. That's the color that I selected. And the Post-it notes are really coming in handy at this point. And if you don't have Post-it notes, you can just use regular paper. Just hold it down in place. And the Post-it notes just allows me to cover my area quickly and move on to the next ink color, and protects it from, again, me getting the wrong color in the wrong space. I'm going to speed things up a bit here, and this is not how fast I ink blend on my stencils, but for the sake of time and to make sure the video doesn't last 2 hours, no, seriously, it wasn't that long, but for some of this I will be speeding things up and then slowing it back down again. So this is all green. It's all foliage. The only thing I'm going to do is protect what's below. Okay, and then I'll just go ahead and add that beautiful Martini green color. So if you've never heard of The Ton stamps, they've got some gorgeous layering stencils. They've got wonderful stamps and dies, but their layering stencils are so pretty. And I've made videos in the past where I've used their floral type layering stencils. So I'll link those in the end credits of this video. And this set also has a coordinating die, which I do have, and I want to thank Effie, who is the owner of The Ton, for being so sweet and kind. Every time we see her at the stamp show, she's always so outgoing, and her mother as well. They're just great people, and they're based out of New York, but they're super sweet, and they sent me this set as well as the matching dies. So I can't wait to see what it all comes together to look like in the end. Let's fast forward as I ink blend the bottom right hand corner of stencil number 1 using green ink. Okay, that's the first layer. I'll slowly remove this gently so I don't make a mess. Okay. Okay. Alright, layer number 1 is colored in with the yellow and the green. Alright, let me cover up this ink so I don't make a mess. And we'll grab stencil number 2. I'm getting ink all over my fingers, so I'm going to be really careful and wipe them off extra so I don't get it all over the clean parts of this card panel. Alright, number 2. After I filmed this and I started editing it, I thought, well, what I could have done at this point if I wanted to really mass produce multiples, not just the 4 panels. So I just did one piece of paper, cardstock, with layer number 1. I could have taken that stencil, which is layer number 1, and taped it to another piece of paper, and then to another piece of paper, and then I would have had 12 altogether at the end, because I would start by ink blending stencil number 1 on all 3 of those pieces of cardstock. So I would do one on cardstock page number 1, finish that, then take it off and put it on number 2, take it off and put it on number 3. And then it would be an assembly line, and you would be doing each step 3 times. And there are 4 panels on this set, so you could have a dozen cards pretty quickly. That's what I should have done. Yeah, I'll be doing that again someday. I'm sure I'll be purchasing more of these as the ton hopefully comes out with more of these large 4-panel stencils. I know they do have another one for the holidays that Nancy used on her channel. It has like Christmas bulbs and things like that. I'll link Nancy's channel in my description box so you can check those out. All right, and also I forgot I have my magnets I could use just to keep things from sliding around. Okay, number 2, dark foliage, which is dark green, and the second layer for the bells, which is your mid-tone yellow. So for dark green, I'll go ahead and use Eucalyptus, and for my second yellow, I'm going to use Catching Rays. Okay, for the sake of time, I'm going to go ahead and speed this up. So this is my second green color, which is Eucalyptus. I'm on my second stencil, and you eagle-eyed viewers probably noticed that I made a little bit of a mistake, but it's easily corrected, and I will catch it before I move on away from this second layer. So yeah, I'm just ink blending that, and then I pulled it off, and I grabbed layer number 3. And this one, I'm going to be using icing on the cake. These are the twigs that are part of the pine branches and greenery. The frame on the top right-hand corner, it has pine all around it with some branches, and then the candle set has some branches around the pine, and of course the bells has pine with some branches too. And then the lower left hand corner has an actual what I consider like a pine bough, and there's some bells hanging from it. So my first color red is Cranberry Fizz. This is a beautiful festive red color. And right about this time is when I realized I forgot to finish stencil number 2. I forgot to add my second color yellow when I was using stencil number 2, which will be Catching Rays. That's okay. I just went ahead and picked up stencil number 2 and fixed my mistake, which it's easy to go back in if you miss something. I just went back in. I used the Catching Rays. I forgot to color my bells, that the strings that are hanging the bells. I used green. I don't know why. I guess I should have used brown, but it's really okay. And then there was a little spot of green on that poinsettia. I filled that in. Okay, now I have stencil number 3 again. And now I'm going to use Glitz, which is a bright orange. And that will go on the bells and on the candles. And all I'm doing is just making sure everything's lining up correctly as close as I can. And everything is lining up very well. I'm really pleased so far with how this is looking. Now let's move on to this stencil, which is number 4. I'm going to use Rocking Red to color in the berries and the bow and the poinsettia. I'm going to go ahead and speed this part up as I'm using that Rocking Red to complete this layer. Again, this is layer number 4. So I think I got all my red. Oh, and the lower flame, it's dark orange. And for that, I have Flame. I also used a little bit of VersaFine Clara Nocturne ink with a very small sort of makeup type brush to do the wicks of the candles. And I fussed around a little bit with this lower corner, this lower quadrant. I'm sure it was my error. I wasn't paying close attention to my corner markings, and I think I got a little bit off skelter there, but it's not a problem. I'm able to fix it, and I think the flames look pretty cool. They're like they're blowing in the wind. And this final layer is all reds. Okay, so we're going to put on our cute little bow here with our bell. We'll go ahead and bring in our what they're calling the mid-tone red. And I picked out the color Rouge for my mid-tone red. Okay, I'm just going to get this lined up here. So pretty. I really like this. I really like this idea. I like the idea that I have 4 card panels now. Beautifully stenciled card panels. I would say this one down here I kind of messed up a little bit, but really I don't think the people who are not familiar with card making and stencils are really going to notice that. I'll just have to be more careful on my next batch when I do this lower corner and make sure everything's lined up right. And that was my error for not making sure that I was on the mark there. Again, there are dies that go with this, and I'm going to highly recommend that you get those if you do get these stencils, because the way that you can cut these out and then pop them up, you'll see here in a second how stunning these cards are. So I'm showing you an example here of one of the dies. This one is nice. It cuts really close to the actual image of the bells. I'm just going to use some mint tape and run that through my die cut machine. I've got the die here for the trio of bells hanging from the pine bough, and again I'll just use some mint tape, get that ready to go through my die cut machine. I am going to have some still photos, and I'll talk a little bit about how I finished these these panels, but I want to say that if you're new to my channel, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Please click the subscribe button and ring the bell so that you're notified of when I have future videos available. On these two, I used the embossing folder as my background. It's a Spellbinders embossing folder, and it's got like Christmassy type berries and greenery and Christmas ornaments, and I just glued then the stenciled and die cut images from the ton right on top. And then I have two different sentiments, Peace and Joy and Noel, which were stamped using spruce ink from Catherine Poehler. Those sentiments are from Pinkfresh Studios, and they are just die cut. And for these two cards, I used a diamond shape 3D embossing folder from Spellbinders as the background. I put a sentiment on the bells that says Holiday Cheer. That was stamped in spruce ink from Catherine Poehler using a stamp from Pinkfresh Studios. And then on the beautiful frame, which I think is my favorite out of all of them, I used Merry Christmas, which comes from the Ton Stamps. The stamp set is called Ribbons Holiday. And I also used the dies to go with it to cut it out. So there you have it, 4 beautiful cards. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like these cards. Please let me know which one is your favorite. If you do decide to place an order with the Ton stamps, please put in your ordering notes that Tracy Schultz sent you. I greatly appreciate that. Thanks so much for watching. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.